But the Xingu region is where all of the major LiDAR came out within the last 10 years of they found all the ruins of these giant cities. And there's a city called Kiriguyu, I think, and it had an estimated population of about 1 million people, which is the size of Rome. Whoa. And, when you look at the LiDAR images, you can't get a perspective of how big they are. I have access to a LiDAR database of the entire United States, and I've mapped all kinds of huge uncharted mound sites in Florida, all of the Southeast. I have hundreds of sites marked. And when you first look at them on a map, you're like, oh, okay, like maybe that looks like it's 50 feet long or something. No, they'll be like 300 yards long, like these giant raised platforms in the middle of the forest here in the U.S. And if I had access to LiDAR data like that where I could measure it down in the Amazon, some of these things are miles long. Like raised platforms are a mile long, and they have highways. Like, maybe we should pull up a just an image of a LiDAR scan from the Amazon. But you'll see this central city area. You'll see step pyramids and raised platforms. Maybe this is where people lived, or maybe this is where the market was, and there will be a road that cuts straight through it, and you can see the road just goes off in the distance for miles and miles and miles. And so what they would do, here we go. Yeah, this is this is one of these sites I believe this is in Brazil, or maybe it's in northeast Bolivia.
And is all that area covered completely with jungle right now?
Completely covered in jungle, yeah. So if you went out there,
you wouldn't see any of this.
You may not realize that you were standing on a mound. Like, you really got to train your eyes. I put out this, I filmed this little series about 1.5 years ago called Jungle of Stone, where I was going through the jungles in Central America, and we charted this city that had 16 pyramids in it. We were there all day long, and we charted 16 pyramids. And when I put it out, I got all these comments that are like, you're not doing anything but walking on a bunch of hills, because it's so hard to see it. The jungle just claims everything back. So you really have to sit with seeing these things in person for a while before you start recognizing, oh, that is a mound, or that is a pyramid, that is a structure under the jungle. And so Percy Fawcett, where that LiDAR came out is one of the places that he told his wife. He didn't share this publicly where he thought that the city was, but it's like bang on. He was exactly correct about where he thought a city would be. And we don't know if he reached it or not.
Wow. It's so interesting, because how long has LiDAR been around for?
I don't know.
And how long has it been used? I mean, think about for how long people had no idea that this existed, because it was completely covered with jungle. They just assumed that if there was evidence of a civilization, it would be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But it's not. And it makes me wonder, like, as technology increases in its potential, like, what other new technologies will be discovered that will allow you to, instead of like having this ambiguous view of under the pyramids, have like a crystal clear, accurate dimension by dimension, almost like a 3D map.
This century for sure. This century is going to be insane. Yeah. It's going to be insane. Like, you're going to have everyone scanning everything. All of the Amazon will be mapped with LiDAR by the end of this century. All of the Sahara is going to be mapped with LiDAR by the end of this century.
The Sahara is a big one. Right?
Yeah. Well, those are my two big things. Like, when we talk about Atlantis and we talk about lost civilizations, I mean, my thing is the Sahara and the Amazon. Both of these things existed pre-Ice Age, especially if we're talking about pre-Ice Age civilization. The Sahara is an oasis, 10,000 plus years ago. It's an oasis. You have 2 or 3 of the world's largest lake systems on there. You have rivers everywhere. It would have been like a beautiful place to live.
Abundant resources, so there's no worry about food and shelter. You have plenty of time to figure things out, which is the thing that has always made sense to me. If you know the history of the Nile Valley and where Egypt was, like, that was a wonderful place to live, to try to figure things out. Right? Because you have so much food. And once you have so much food and you're kind of separated from everybody, it's really tough to get to you. So, like, they lived unchallenged in that civilization for thousands of years.